LIV Golf could be in trouble, folks. Some news coming out of LIV HQ last week. The financial earnings reports were released, and the numbers were, well, horrendously bad. Now, I don't know if you're going to be shocked by that or not, but we're going to get into all that. And there was some stuff in that report that you may have missed, and I want to talk about that as well as add a couple wrinkles and reports of my own. Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below because I want to hear what you guys have to say. But first, welcome back to the Scratch Golf Show. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Marco and I'm your host. Here on the Scratch Golf Show, we talk about all things golf, YouTube and professional. And today we're going to take a deeper dive into LIV's financial situation. Without further ado, let's get into it. So if you didn't see, there was a report from Josh Carpenter, which I'll put on the screen here for the graphic, saying that LIV's financial earnings report were released in the UK, and people saw the headlines of that graphic and just said, wow, LIV is racking up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in losses in 2022, 2023, and 2024. They are only generating a few million in revenue, but the main thing I want to focus there is they're actually losing more than that, because these numbers are only based on their non-United States events, which we know LIV has done, I believe, over half of their 14 event schedule globally. So these filings and these financial reports are only from their global events. Now, the exact numbers, let me pull these up real quick because I have them here in front of me. We have a $244 million in losses in 2022, $396 million in 2023, and 461.8 or 462 million last year in 2024. So we have three straight losses, 3 straight years of, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in losses. Now we're seeing more and more as to why the PGA Tour is just playing the long game here when it comes to waiting out a deal with LIV. As we know, they did the framework agreement, which is almost 2 years, actually over 2 years, I think over 2 years ago now that we did that. And we're no closer to a deal when it comes to LIV and the PGA Tour. And we're coming up on a lot of the end of the contracts of the major signings from LIV. Now, a lot of these, and one thing I wanted to talk about here is, so when I say the player contracts and prepaid bonuses, those are actually part of the United States corporation, I believe, or company that LIV does their United States events through. And those filings and financial reports are not currently available. They're managed by, I believe, a privately traded company. So those documents are not required to be financially reported, but the UK ones are because they're managed by a publicly traded company. So, but all their player bonuses and those player contracts are done through the United States LLC or whatever that looks like. And so you think of Dustin Johnson, Bryson DeChambeau, Phil Mickelson, Cam Smith, John Rahm, Brooks Koepka, Henrik Stenson, Lee Westwood, etc. All these guys early on in LIV are getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars. Now pair all those players' millions, hundreds of millions with the $500 million multi-year deal that John Rahm signed in 2023. All those player bonuses paired with the hundreds and hundreds of million dollars that LIV is claiming on their UK filings, they could be losing upwards of $1 billion a year in 2024. Maybe at least 750 million, which is just asinine to think about, that they're losing that much money. Now, I wanted to add a couple wrinkles and things and reports that I've heard, some, let's call it unsubstantiated rumors from the PGA Tour sources that I've asked around when it comes to the whole PGA Tour LIV deal. Where does that stand? What does that look like? Now, it's coming up and it's been widely reported that players like Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, and DJ contracts, all those initial contracts are up, whether it be this year or next year. And the unsubstantiated rumors from the sources that I've asked around was they've heard that the PGA Tour is going to do a wait and see type of approach with those players to see if they can welcome them back or just have them back on the PGA Tour. When I'm saying, like, Brooks, Bryson, DJ type people, Cam Smith, once their contracts are up, to see if they're going to re-sign with LIV. We've seen, and it's been reported on, that LIV is not doing upfront player bonuses anymore. the initial investors from the Saudi investment fund are not happy with the return on investment after all these initial contracts. So just some fun, unsubstantiated rumors from you guys that I've heard that those guys could be going back to the PGA Tour, and that the tour is going to see if they could figure something out and welcome those guys back. So who knows what LIV Golf is going to look like in 2 to 3 years? It could just be John Rahm playing with a bunch of young and up and coming DP World Tour players. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you made it this far, hit that subscribe button, please. I'm trying to hit 7,000 subscribers by the end of this month. All right, so let's dig into some of the nuances from the financial reports and the actual losses, and give you guys some of the nitty gritty that I think you may have missed from these reports that were made publicly available. So I reported about a month ago that the creators who were playing, and you think of the separate line items for these financial reports, the creators, obviously, it would be a separate line item. They're getting paid anywhere from 150 to 500,000 to appear in LIV duels, promote LIV. Truly crazy numbers that they're throwing at these creators. Props to those guys, by the way, for getting the bag. Grant, Brian Bros, Quan, whoever else. Like, I'm never going to judge those creators for getting LIV, getting the money from LIV. In my opinion, I actually think the creators, not to go off on too much of a tangent here, but I think the creators, it's just a win-win for them. They got paid and they got all the exposure. Like, you think the LIV duels, like Brian Bros, Grant, they got these amazing videos with Phil, Bryson, major champions. And what did LIV get from that? What did LIV get from the investment that they're paying the creators? I doubt they got it in, based on their financial reporting documents, that they got these ticket sales, any return there from that. Viewers, I don't know. But the thing with LIV, and it's great that they're doing these this content and YouTube stuff, but LIV's not a YouTube tour. They're a professional golf tour that's losing hundreds of millions of dollars per year. And if you look at the nitty gritty, like I said, they've generated $65 million in revenue in 2024. And you think that's good for a business, but you pair that with $462 million in losses. The 65 million is up from 37 million that they have from 2023. So you think they almost doubled their revenue. But if you really dig into the nuances, 37 million of the revenue they claimed in 2024 was from the Adelaide event, which is great. It seems like LIV has found a blueprint to have a successful event and generate a good amount of revenue from the ticket sales, etc. But half the revenue is coming from one event. Some of these events aren't even making 10 million. The only one making over 10 million is Hong Kong. Some of these events are making like $4 to $5 million in revenue. Now you think that maybe they're making money from ad sponsorships or TV deals, but in this article from Joe Pompiliano that I'll link in the description, they're only making 2.7 million on their international TV deal. I guess they all must be paying for the app, apparently. That's what I'm told on X, Twitter. But to put that in comparison, the PGA Tour is making over $700 million from their media rights deal. It's just truly crazy. They're not even on the same playing scale. And it seems like the PGA Tour is going to do the waiting game. It just makes sense why we haven't seen a deal from the PGA Tour yet. They could just wait out LIV and wait out all these massive contracts. Who knows what LIV Golf is going to look like in the future? Do you think that's sustainable? In my opinion, I don't think it is. I think, in a few years, it could just be a write-off. I mean, who the heck knows? Is LIV Golf going to be around? I generally want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think on the return on the investment. Do you think Brooks and Bryson are going to leave LIV? What do you think of all this financial numbers? Anyway, hit that subscribe button, like the video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.